So today we're going to be making the Inquisitor lightsaber. This one is really fun. Materials listed in the description box below, so check that out and let's get started. So I started with an old wrapping paper roll, and then I cut it down to size. Mine is 11.5 inches. And then I took some silver foil, leaving about 1.5 inches on either side. I wrapped it around the center. You can also use tinfoil and glue as an alternative. So I took another cardboard tube that was quite a bit larger than the first one, and I marked it out so it was just a little bit longer than the part covered in silver on the other one. And then I cut that off, coated the entire thing in some white school glue, and once that was dry, coated the entire thing in some black metallic paint, and then I just cut it into a bunch of thin strips. Whole bunch of those. Then I did the edges with a black marker because it was faster than trying to paint them, but it covers up the cardboard. So then I just measured around the edge and cut those to size. So just fit right around there. I just put a little bit of glue and glued a bunch of those strips, leaving about 1.5 inches of silver on each side. Then I took some longer ones, about 1 inch wide, maybe just over, and I glued those so that they were the same distance from the other ones, but would go most of the way to the edge of the silver. And then I painted the very edges with metallic black. I didn't bother doing the glue paint because most of this will be covered. So there's that. And then I took a strip of 2mm craft foam and some more of that silver foil, and I stuck the foam on that. You want to do this, make it curved when you're putting the foil around it so it holds the shape. And then cut off the excess, leaving just a little tab on the end so it'll stick and hide the edges. A little bit of glue on the foam, and then put it silver side up, covering the open spot on the end of that tube. Do that to both sides. And then take another thinner strip of craft foam covered in silver, and you'll put that a little ways from the big one, and then you'll put one on the very end. Just a little bit bigger gap there, which is intentional. So then mark out a very thin strip of craft foam and cut it off the edges so that it will fit right in between those two silver strips. So then take that little piece and cover it with silver foil as well, and just stick it in place there. A little bit of glue, and then do the same thing on the bottom, except that this piece faces the other diagonal direction. So they face slightly opposite directions, just like that. And of course you'll do that on both ends. And take a little silver dot, put one on each end in the big black part. Then paint 2 red lines behind it. You can also use red puffy paint if you want a little more texture. And then I just painted a little red circle. And this only gets done to one of the dots. It doesn't get done to the other one. The other one gets left plain. And so then you cut 2 parts of the little pointy piece and one with the little Y on the end of it. And they all just kind of stack nicely together with the Y piece in the middle, sandwiched by the ones with the little points on them. So to hide the corrugated part, just take some electrical tape, and you'll just put it in the middle and then cut slits along the side and fold those down. And then you'll cover all the slits with some additional squares to hide all the cardboard. And make sure they're back far enough so that top piece will cover them. Do that to the outside and the inside so you get nice black covered edges. And again, the top piece will hide any of the uncovered pieces. Then you'll do the same thing to the pieces with the point on them, except this time you use silver foil instead of black tape. But same thing, put it in the middle, cut some slits on both sides, and make sure you stagger the slits so they're not in the exact same spot on both sides. And then just fold down all those little squares, and that will hide the corrugated edge there, giving you a nice smooth silver edge instead. And just like with the black tape, just put some additional squares of silver in between all those little slits to hide all the cardboard. and then lay it down on a piece of silver. You only have to do this to one side because the bottom side will be hidden. And cut it off so the edges are flush. Again, the inside doesn't matter. And then you want to draw on all the designs with a permanent marker. I don't have a template for these because I just drew them freehand. And it's very time consuming, but basically just look at a picture, and I did simplify these a fair bit just to make it a little bit faster. So take one of them and lay it symbol side down, put some glue along the edge, and then put the little black Y piece in the middle there, put some more glue along that, and then put your other symbol piece on top, sandwiching the two. And you'll make 2 sets of those, and you'll glue one on each side of that center tube. And so then there is the entire lightsaber. This is a really fun one. I think this is one of my favorite lightsabers that I've ever made. And if Xena Warrior Princess had a lightsaber, this would obviously be it. And quick shout out to Taryn. Thank you for the Venmo tip. Greatly appreciated.